So people come together and make meetings to find a good decision to make for their advantage. And then there are those certain groups of people who come together to make bad decisions for their own disadvantage. I mean, can you imagine that? And as I say this, it feels as if I need to gesture my hands in the iconic hand gestures of Trump, So imagine the whole of this speech is having those hand gestures and the pouting lips and the I am serious but not serious facial expression, and also seeming as if it's welcoming but having a firm serious threat of if you don't, you know what will happen way of expression. I don't know where this is coming from, but it's meant to be this way. So imagine we have Trump doing this content right now and he's the one who's speaking. And with that said, welcome back to the channel if you're coming back, and welcome if it's your first time. And the message is, why make bad decisions when you know you are going down? Instead of checking your steps and rectify that which happens to have been ruined, you decide to make it even worse. If this does not resonate with you, don't mind, but stick around because there is definitely something for you. So can you imagine that the certain group would create strategies on how they could devalue you so that they could harvest your energy when you are at your lowest? The only surprising thing is that when you are at your lowest, they would take your negative energy, that is as far as I understand, and they believe they could alchemize that to their advantage, like turning the negative to positive. But the only real thing is that when you alchemize a negative to positive, that works only if it has good intentions, and that lasts. But otherwise, it does not last. When you try to alchemize that with bad intentions of exploiting another, that is only a temporary triumph that has a long-lasting negative result later on. It does not matter how much it gets delayed. It will just happen. It is just a matter of time. And when the time is ripe, it strikes. And you can't run away from that, neither can you deviate it and sacrifice another to carry the burden for you. And these certain groups, we elaborated before, that most of the lower class members of these groups are just minions who are generally under spells and magic and possessed most of the time, and that is why they are able to do what is commanded of them. It is like having empty body vessels that are soulless, that are filled with programmed commands that they keep believing that they have to do. Mind you, they feel have to do, and there is no way out. In which case, that's an illusion, because there is always a way out. They only need to look for the ways out and believe that they will manage to get away. Well, these certain people, some of them are really very intelligent, and their strategies to break down opponents is mind-blowing. It's like they have minds out of this world, and that's partly true because they are just puppets for the entities that attach to them. In other words, it's not their minds that they are using, it's the entities' minds. They are being mechanically, or is it like robot commanded to do what they are told to do without question, because they are brainwashed to believe that they are doing the right thing. And they don't have doubts apart from some few who are exposed to some truth that is revealed to them by God through some person of God. And it's to our wish that they could have used their talents for better things and stop wasting their lives. Some become conscious and try to move away, but some become confused or feel stuck and they still continue their own ways. And sometimes you just can't blame them, because some are threatened by the use of their loved ones, and they think that that was the only way to save their loved ones from anything bad. It's just human nature and you can't blame them. But still, God gave you freedom of thought. Have you any idea that there are also entities that get trapped and blackmailed with their loved ones to perform evil acts onto people? Some entities, even though we don't see them, they are also having their own lives just like human beings, and they get kidnapped or trapped to be used for evil acts. And among them too are also those who follow the way of God, and some even try to protect people where they can. Generally, they try to stay out of trouble because that is what they promised King Solomon. We could go on about them, but that's something else. That's a whole other topic. While these certain groups make carefully planned strategies to outwit who knows who, maybe even you. I mean, we are at times where a person is unalived and they don't know how they got unalived and why. And the one who did the act does not even know why they did what they did. And that, my dear, is also one of the signs of the end of the world, and these people keep confirming prophecies with their actions. So they do all that, and yet some of them don't know why they are doing what they are told to do. And generally all because of the ego, because they want to impress their superiors. And they also hope to reach high ranks by doing what they do. I wonder, does any of them ever think that when they were doing what they were doing, that there might be a chance that they drop down and get unalived while still doing those actions? And we can only imagine what would happen to them when they transition. Isn't it tiring messing with people's emotions and creating conflicts so that people could miss out on opportunities? Because that is just what they are doing. Wanting you to get distracted and miss out, and then they harvest. What do you think they will transition to when going into 5D when unalived? It's not going to be the same like astral projection or shape-shifting. They will not have a choice. When God calls you back from earth journey, there is no going back. And you can't rectify anything that you have done. Like they talk in the reincarnation of how somebody used to be bad and then they come back into this world as another person to rectify that. No. The person who is going to rectify what has happened in the past is somebody who will be carrying the energy of the person who did the wrong thing. That's all. When God calls you back from earth journey, there is no going back. That is why we try to make the best of life on earth, experience as much as possible. We transition to 5D with only our deeds. The rest will remain behind. The money, the status, the relationships, none of that will come with us. Maybe they have been promised immortality, which is nothing but an illusion. Your flesh will turn to soil. Only your soul will go. And some of us believe we come back in another form. No, we don't. You come back carrying the energy of somebody who had been there in the past. Another person just continues on with our energy accumulated over them. And there are instances where there is like talking to the past ones. Magicians use this to get spiritual secrets, but because their intentions might not be good, the kind of energy they usually deal with is nothing but a deceptive energy. Let me explain that. Everyone when born comes to this world with some egoistic energy that always tries to lure them on the wrong. And these energies in some religions are believed to be some kind of entity that is appointed to you since birth. And when you go back to God, this energy continues on earth. And when rituals are made to call past ones with bad intentions, these energies or entities come through. And because from birth they know each and every detail of the past one, they could easily be disguised to appear as if they are talking in the tongue of the past one. So that is how deceit starts for magicians. They get tricked to think that they are dealing with the actual person, yet they are dealing with another energy that could easily mislead them with misinformation. And some magicians try to trap and enslave these energies by using other deceitful energies. But in the whole run, they are just serving evil intents. And it is these energies that possess humans and try to make life hard. Let me explain that too. An evil energy is summoned by the magicians and sent to another energy of someone who is alive and torture and enslave the energy they have to blackmail them into forcing the person to do wrong. Sometimes we need to be mindful when we try to listen to the inner voice. Sometimes we need to be mindful. Is it your soul or those energies that are talking to you? If it is your soul, it would tell you to do things in alignment with God the Most High. If it's those energies, you might be directed to do that which is not of God the Most High. So just be mindful. And so that is how these certain wrong-making decisions groups experience. And they need to know that destiny is written by God, the Most High, and nothing can alter that. Yes, it might seem like delayed or messed up, but no, everything is divine timing. Everything works out just as how God wishes it to work out. And it depends on whether the Most High allows it to happen or not. And everything has a blessing if God allows it or not. Everything is working out for you, and only good can come out all that is happening. And you are safe. And I hope that helps someone. See you in the next one. Till then, with much love, take care of yourselves. God bless.